Peace and love. Peace and love. What up, though? What it do? What's popping? What's cracking? What's happening there? Time 9, time 10. Let's get into it. Let's do it. Yeah, last night was, I don't know, you know, was having some difficulties. I don't know. Went back and looked at the video, and like I said, I didn't, my mic, I heard like a little buzzing noise or whatnot. So I'm going to need you all to let me know, how the audio is sounding to you all to make sure, we don't have none of the issues that I was having last night. I was about to go crazy last night because what I could not do is find a video to back up the point that I was making concerning, peace be upon him, the young brother Ryan Hinton, who was, again, I don't like the word unalive. So as we get into this and we get past our first few minutes, I'm going to let it fly. Because, again, I feel like that's like too restrictive. I'm an adult, and for the most part, those of you who are gonna be listening, y'all grown. So certain terms, whether it be profane or some profanity, if you will, I don't see why anybody panties should be in a bunch. Peace, God. Peace, God. What's going on? If you hear any buzzing or anything in my mic, please let me know. Please let me know, and I'll turn off the studio mic and we'll just roll with the mic that's attached to the camera right quick. But you see the title, just let me say this before we even get started. Like I've said multiple times, like just because you see me aiming at whomever is sitting in that Oval Office, don't take the position that I'm I'm on the other side of the wing or something. I'm not on no sides or no wing, period. Like, again, did you see the thumbnail? This system was not invented to do anything but take, right? So as I've not only suggested, I've proven multiple times that whoever's sitting in that oval, they sitting in that oval, right? Based off of a bloodline connection. I know a lot of you would like to think that because Trump father did not arrive to these particular shores until like what, the 1920s or something like that, 1923 or 1932 or whatever the hell it was. That doesn't mean that he didn't already have, thank you, bro, brothers, he didn't already have relatives already over here who set up shop, right? And regardless to that, I can't say regardless to that because these are facts. You're never going to hear me, give up no pseudo information, right? Nothing that I found on Facebook and TikToking and, IG or nothing like that, right? I can see something that's on any of these platforms and, I do my due diligence to research and see if I can verify that information. I just don't blab it out my mouth, right? That's a bad look for us. And this is one of the very reasons that many of our movements that were in full swing, that had momentum, have been almost completely stagnated. And it has allowed, again, a lot of neo-Nazi racist satire information to drip down into, what our ancestors put together with thorough scholarship. And a lot of what I'm seeing is not scholarship at all, right? And unfortunately, it comes from some brothers and sisters with names or titles or Christian appellations and things like this and that may be similar to mine, but they come from the school of the internet. I don't come from the school of the internet. I come from the school of the libraries that, you know what I'm saying, mama had, as well as, the grassroots lecture circuit that, again, for me, it started off with VHS tapes. It wasn't, YouTube. We didn't have it this easy, right? We just didn't. And again, I'm from the D. For those of you that don't know, when I talk about the grassroots lecture circuit, those who I was able to, you know what I'm saying, see up top face to face on a consistent basis would be, a peace be upon him, a Steve Copley. We all call the Boule Buster. I've mentioned his name multiple times. He's from right next door. He's from our sister city our sister city is Chicago. Detroit and Chicago are sister cities, which is why when you look on some of these maps from like the 1800s or whatnot, a couple of them I'll give maybe 1700s, but you'll see one city listed as Mecca, and you see the other city listed as Medina. So when I say that with proof. I can prove it, right? Wow, I'm having a flashback. Like, to be amongst that type of scholarship, right, and to be able to pay homage to those master teachers for me is a joy. And again, I speak from a place of, vetting. We vet our information. We just don't go around saying stuff, right? So with that being said, let's get into it. You all know we have been up under the cloak. Let me say this too. We have a lot of people talking about martial law. The orange guy is going to implement martial law. Let me explain something to you. Martial law has already been implemented, right? You're talking about a bankrupt entity who claims to be bankrupt, which we know this corporate entity that we call the United States of America, Inc. is the richest, wealthiest cartel, nation state, country, barring none. Again, we're going to deal with the facts and nothing else this evening, as we always do. So, as I previously stated, they are extremely wealthy. China has always been creeping up on the come up. But, don't let them pull the wool over your eyes. They work together, right? Until they don't want to work together, right? This is just what it is. There's no way that China can be in the position that they are in. Like, for example, last year, we did a video, and I've done a short, I did an edited version of it, where you can see the various Chinese police stations within the United States, and they call them secret. Peace, God. They call them secret. And these aren't just secret Chinese police stations. They're running courts, their own courts and everything over here on this land. And as much as we would like to point at NBC and Fox and CNN and these other mainstream media platforms that give us news, as much as we would like to point at them and say, oh, it's fake news, it's fake news, you got to come better than that, right? I'm not saying that everything that they broadcast is a fact, but let's be honest about the situation. A lot of what they broadcast, your ass may not have even know anything about it had they not broadcast it, right? Had it not been for NBC broadcasting about these secret Chinese police stations that are being busted and taken down allegedly one by one, you know what I'm saying? Had they not told it, then would I have known? Unless you were kidnapped and taken to one, would you have known, right? And the thing is, I understand the fact that NBC didn't just, they don't have like a magic wand, you know what I'm saying, to get this information. It is people, boots on the ground, right? It is press that are on the ground. It is investigators that are being paid by various people, who have unveiled this information, right? In order for them to even get it, for it to trickle down to you and I. Now, certain things we don't need to hear about, or, you know what I'm saying? We're witnessing them ourselves, and then we're sharing the information amongst one another. That's another way that we get information. Now, again, that doesn't mean, just because someone who looks like you tells you something, it doesn't make it a fact. Again, you have to vet this information. When you don't, you get caught up in saying dumb shit, right? And you start following people who don't care about you. So to keep me from cussing already, right? For example, Alex Jones with the what was the name of the case that he had? The Sandy Hook, you know what I'm saying? Where literally many people who look like me was running around saying that those were crisis actors and that didn't happen for real. And My thing is this: you gotta have some type of tact, some type of morale for me to even respect anything that you say. And how disrespectful, even if I thought something like that, and I didn't have the ability to research it, to prove it to not be a fact that these children and these people were murdered, I would never say that shit because that is so disrespectful. Like y'all, some people, sometimes I just can't take it. That's why I started speaking a lot of French, right? Like that is very disrespectful to not allow people to grieve for their loved ones and especially for their children, right? Based off of someone attempting to keep a following, right? Like I don't do that. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't have a number. There is no number that you can give me to make me promote any enemy or adversary of my people, right? And I don't have belief or faith in them to do a freaking thing for us. So some of the decisions that are being made by some of our people, I don't agree with, right? And I'll voice that. I have no problem freely voicing that, right? And ultimately, it's still your choice. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what's really popping at the end of the day. That's not what I'm doing. I want y'all to over and understand it. This is not about, again, just because I'm aiming at the orange guy doesn't mean that I'm saying, hey, y'all should have voted for the East West Indian woman. And it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have. Thank you. This is one of my famous, because the gloves are off, right? Gloves are off. Like I said, it's foot to ass 2025. Y'all can say you on MAGA, however you say that. I'm on foot to ass 2025 because if we don't clean up this misinformation, we will continue to be disrespected, right? On an international basis, which is why when we begin to talk about international law, indigenous rights, human rights, the rights of a child to a name and nationality, I have to say that I just can't say the rights of a child because it consists of more than just the rights of a child. See, it's not just a matter of us having this amnesia or PTSD. How y'all say that right there? Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a matter of people not really studying. Like y'all is bullshit. If I'm gonna say exactly what it is, right? When you start talking about the rights of a child, why would they create this international law by way of uh, by way of the United Nations, right? I almost said the League of Nations, but by way of the United Nations. This is because once upon a time, people were allowing their children basically to be prostituted. What do I mean? And I'm not talking about in a sexual manner. I'm talking about when you, instead of your child getting an education, you're sending them out to go work at these factories. And I understand there are other elements to why that particular declaration had to be created. And I'm talking about the rights of a child and the rights of a child to a name and nationality specifically, right? Now, when we start talking about nationality, many of us, we got that. Most of you all got that, and you understand exactly what that is. But the relevance of it and how it relates to actually having rights and sovereignty instead of having privileges and citizenship, right? It's like citizen, is a bad word within my household. I don't know about y'all, you know what I'm saying? Because you're talking about citizens, you're talking about subjects, you're talking about those who, I don't want to say volunteered, because some of you aren't aware of the fact that when you look at that national debt clock, right, that we look at over here often, they put that debt on the people, right? They pledged the people as collateral for their debt, right? Which is why they've allowed it to go haywire. Because it's been going haywire since the day, you know what I'm saying? I've ever heard any CEO who sits in that Oval Office say, well, if the national deficit hits this many trillion, then we're going to have to shut down, right? And it's going to affect us in this way, in that way. But again, I can recall in the early 2000s when the son Bush was in office, he was talking about the deficit, if it reaches 16 trillion, we're going to have to shut this down and do this and do that. But right here currently today is what? Did it go up beyond 36 trillion? We haven't looked at it in a couple weeks or whatnot, but understand we have to detach. And when I say detach, it's not what you typically are thinking, right? Like for instance, and I've been getting on y'all about this, right? You see me share the photo of what's the actor name? And he got the little hat on and he's smoking his little black and mild and he like, oh, you voted, huh? I bet you pray too, don't you? You know what I'm saying? Like I share those sentiments because peace be upon him. My teacher, Bobby Ill, again began to take his students from his dojo, starting back as far as I know in 1999, to have them cancel their voters registration. He explained to you why he was doing this, right? First of all, we all know about the electoral college, right? You know about that. We got that bit down piece, right? But do you know the difference between voting and actually casting a ballot? In order for you to actually cast a ballot, you have to be of a sovereign nation, right? And there are other elements that go with it. You have to have a firm foot on the land. And, I hear a lot of talk. I hear, well, you all are claiming to be indigenous to this land, then why are you speaking English? And why this? And why do you think we were colonized? Just like almost everywhere else. It ain't just us. But in this age, y'all, say it's the age of Aquarius, so we're going into it and blah, blah, blah. And I've been listening to that shit for more than 20 years too, right? And I don't disagree. Just certain things you don't hear me speak on it don't mean I don't know it. If I don't have the ruler to measure that shit and I don't have the laboratories, you know what I'm saying? And I don't have the team to go out and do the research and come back, you know what I'm saying, with various statistics, whether it's vital statistics or whatever it is, then by all right, why would I speak on it? I'm not one of those kind of scholars, if you will. I can only give testimony to what I know. Now I can express how I feel about something, but who cares? Nobody, especially in this day and age. I know y'all don't care. I don't give a shit. And I don't blame you, right? But I can point the finger for this bromance that's going on, right? In between predominantly my brothers and this blue-eyed, blonde-haired, furred, orange guy. Like, again, he's sitting in an oval. He's sitting in an Oval Office. And as he balances the books and cut the checks for others, he's bypassing us. And I'm not talking about no $1,200 check. I ain't talking about no stimmy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's embarrassing, y'all. When I hear people say, well, I voted for him or I'm going to root for him or I'm on his team due to pennies. You're talking about a $300 trillion empire that used to be ours, right? And you're talking about, even if you was talking about $12,000, bro, that's nothing. That's nothing. We have the capabilities to issue that to ourselves, right? If we wanted to. When we start talking about self-reparations or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand what you're saying, but the fuck? I don't want to talk about self-reparations when we are old. Okay? I don't want to talk about us giving each other, you know what I'm saying? Some type of reparations when, hold on. They owe us. So by all right, this is a conversation that we need to be having. And these conversations are not going to be had with him in office. Now, granted, again, if the East-West Indian woman had got into office, those were conversations that were already on the table in between her and whether you want to call him the boule or whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? She made a promise at the very least. At the very least. But again, as I promise you, had she made it into that Oval Office, what you knew it wasn't going to happen, what's the chances of a East-West Indian woman beating a blue-eyed, blind-furred person, you know what I'm saying, running for the White House? No, you knew that wasn't going to happen no way, regardless to all of the fuck shit that she did and said, right? But the one thing, again, that she did say, and she did make a promise to her Boule brothers and sisters about, in front of the world was that if she makes it in here and they bring a reparations bill to her, that she would sign it. Now, granted, she made this statement when she was running against Biden before, Biden put her on in as his vice president or whatnot. She had already made that statement. So some of the things that were being said were being taken all the way out of context. But again, we don't vet shit. We, let little sound bites and, little neo-Nazi racist skinhead satire come into play from some shit that your ass seen on the internet, and you start pushing it. Like you Rick Ross or somebody. You the fake Rick Ross and you gonna push it harder, Very immature, very unscholarly, non-scholarly, however you want to say that. I just completely cannot rock with it. So we're gonna do this flashback first, since I kind of got jacked up last night with the broadcast or whatnot, because I couldn't immediately locate the video for one, and again, my eyes was just red yesterday, face kind of swollen and everything, because these things hurt me. They say, you emotional. You goddamn right. I'm emotional with reason. It's different when you're being emotional because you're being selfish about some shit or something like that. That's a different kind of emotional. My emotional stems off the fact that I've grown beyond tired of seeing the same behavior and the same results, you know what I'm saying? And the same stance of, well, I'm gonna stand over here. Instead of us standing together, you want to stand over here, you want to stand over there, you want to try to hold a Bible, you know what I'm saying, and try to tell me some shit. You want to try to hold a Quran and try to tell me some shit, and I don't want to hear that shit. I've been through those chambers of knowledge already, and you need to master that one and put it down and pick up another one, and master that one and put it down and pick up another one, and stop using that shit to try to aim at me, because you can't win. You're not gonna win. It's just not gonna happen. So let's get to it. I talked about Rodney Hinton Sr. last night and how he fumbled the ball. And I know by now most of us have already seen the video of him fumbling the ball, him making these claims that the reason, he's praying for the police officer that murdered his grandson, and he's justifying the police officer murdering his grandson because he's saying that the same way that his grandson was scared and running away from the police is the same way that the police was scared as they were running after him, right? And all of this stemmed from a stolen car, right? So we gonna look at this video again the right way this evening of a similar situation that happened here in the city of Detroit on West Chicago and Hubble, where there was a man that was melanated like you and I, and he was armed in the stolen car, and the police ride up on him, right? Now, just think about it. How is it that these police were able to apprehend this man without murdering him, but the pale-faced police down in Cincinnati weren't able to do that with that young man, right? They very well had the capability to handle that situation the same way it was handled here in the city of Detroit. But I keep telling y'all, Detroit we different, right? We different. We different based off of the fact that we are the majority, and not just the majority, we the majority. Like, for example, I spoke about Chicago not too long ago. They currently, of course, have a larger population than we do because they weren't hit the way that we were hit in 2008 with the financial crisis or whatnot, right? But no city in America, barring none, do your research, no city has ever had the amount of Black people or Black homeowners or Black business owners as the city of Detroit, right? So with that being said, as these officers whipped up with their guns out on this man in Detroit who, stole somebody's car that had one of those low jack or high jack or the trackers, y'all know what I'm talking about. So they already knew what the car was, right? And again, he was armed as well, but he lived. So again, Cincinnati don't have drones, they don't have dogs, they don't have tear gas, You know what I'm saying? They don't have tasers. No, none of that matter. None of that matter. Now, and understand when I say this, the orange guy that's in the office, the orange guy that's in the office, and his tactics, and those that support him, created this current climate that we are in. In all honesty, it starts with Obama. It starts with Obama. Like I've said multiple times, had Obama never sat in that Oval Office for 2 terms, there is a highly likelihood that Trump would have never, ever, they'd have never put that dumb bastard up in there, right? And a lot of these incidents that are happening to our people, the little girl selling the candy, who the white people said if they was at home, they would have did that to one of our babies. The white guy who smacked up the nurse because he said she didn't belong in that neighborhood. All of these people are Trump voters. So this is, again, what you aligned yourself with. You aligned yourself with this. You aligned, my brothers, you aligned yourself with racist whites who, if given the opportunity, would murk you and eat your babies. So I'm never going to be quiet about this. So if you have a problem with anything that I voice here or on Facebook, I suggest you just unfriend me. Now I'm not a troll. I'm not about to be the way I've been trolled. That's another reason I go so hard, because I've been trolled multiple times by people who think Michelle Obama is a man, as well as brothers who voted for Trump. They be trolling the shit out of me, right? I'm gonna respond. And if it gets into a disrespectful situation, I just simply unfriend you. I don't even block you, right? But if you get too out of hand, then my only option is to block you. So let's look at this video right quick before I start rapping too much, because y'all know I'll do it. Put the mouse at. Let's look at the video right quick. And you tell me what you think. You know, you do your analysis and just let me know what you think. So let's find the video. Lord, what happened to me last night happened to me this evening. Oh, last night I was with how the youngins say tight. We ain't used to say tight, because you know what I'm saying? We didn't use, if we said that's tight, we meant it was sweet. It was dope. You know, you was fly. You know what I'm saying? Now tight mean you're angry or mad or upset or something like this and that. So as they would say, I was tight because I couldn't. And I was really tight about Pop because I couldn't believe that, you know, he was saying the things that he was saying about his own grandson. Like, bro, you know, obviously for Rodney Hinton Jr. to get that upset, to go and you know what I'm saying? To get that upset, he obviously, as many of us, did not see that young man with a gun. We did not see that young man point a gun at those police. This is just what they do and what they've been doing since the origins of these patty roller highwaymen, right? And they're carrying on that tradition. And let me say this too, while I'm live broadcasting here. Stop talking to me like Bobby Ill was my teacher, right? When you start talking to me about post-Civil War, Republican Party being the melanated folk, who the fuck you think you're talking to? As if I don't already know that. I told y'all, the first time I ever seen D.W. Griffith's 1915 Birth of a Nation on a DVD, I put it on DVD, right? So, you know, if you watch that, you see the facsimiles, am I saying facsimile? You know what I'm saying? And they're showing this information throughout the film already, right? But look at what happened to those melanated men who were running the Republican Party, right? Look what happened. You think that the KKK strictly stuck with the Democratic Party after they took over the Republican Party from so y'all be using some strawman ass arguments, you know, against a sister that does have some scholarship. Stop moving the goalposts and stop coming at me with the strawman ass arguments. Again, my teacher, peace be upon him, was Bobby Ill. If you don't know him, there's a reason that you don't know him. The same way many of y'all didn't know who I was, right? Because you got these content creators and some of these older scholars, you know what I'm saying, who are actually scholars, but this is how they eat. This is not how I eat, right? This is not how I eat at all. Granted, at this time, the channel is monetized. You know what I'm saying? But this is not how I eat. This is not how I earn. And y'all know a lot of times I have to turn the monetization off on the videos because of the content and my language. Right? So, let me see. This, I don't know why this be doing this to me, y'all. Y'all know why I be doing it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know exactly why. They be playing me left or whatnot, but we gonna surpass all of that. I think I sent this video to Messenger. Man, that's why I never wanted this program to be on this computer, which is all good because I have a new one. Have a new one coming soon, so we won't have to go through this where we getting these delays when I do go live. It's hard enough for me to even want to go through this information because, like I say, this shit hurt. It keep happening. Just like the brother who, you know, the little kids was playing, you know, some type of TikTok prank, and they're ringing his doorbell. Well, all I heard about was them kicking his door. You know, he thinking somebody breaking in his house, and he shot and killed one of them. So now he's locked up, right? The Zimmerman get to be free, you know, for standing his ground. You know what I'm saying? And what's the other? Weidenhauer House. What's the little white boy name that came out during the George Floyd events to try to help and, you know, was blasting people? He get to be free with this brother in Virginia right now as we speak. And the thing about it is, okay, let's just say his life wasn't in danger. But again, he obviously thought his life was in danger. You got somebody kicking your door at 3 a.m. That sounds like someone trying to kick your door in, right? But they didn't give him a bond. They said, no, ain't no ransom. We ain't letting y'all pay no ransom to get him out. We gonna make an example of him because of this Trump climate that we're in. And some of y'all come at me and y'all say, yeah, we glad he in here because this is going to make us come together, right? This is going to make us come together. Why the fuck do we need somebody, you know what I'm saying, who, let's just say Trump not racist, since y'all like to believe that an 80-year-old blue-eyed, blonde fur person is not racist. Let's just say he's not. You will have to be the dumbest rock in the box to believe that those who voted for him that don't look like you aren't racist. They're showing it to you in real time. Yep, they're showing it to you in real time that they are absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, racist. Come on, this sucks. I hate when this happens. Every video in the world is coming up except for, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to subscribe. I just want you to go to y'all channel. That's it. You don't need a subscription. And everything, of course, is moving slow as eternal. Yeah, you know, it's just a lot going on. It's a whole lot going on. And that was channel 40. That's where I'm messing up at. And I didn't even have to do none of this. I could have just went to the video from yesterday. But I don't want to hear that buzzing. In the mic. So how you love that? This cat. What's his name? Alex Jones. How many billion? How many billion do, you know what I'm saying? Did the Sandy Hook people win? Because he was out there pushing that satire information. And some of my own brothers was amen in that shit. The whole thing is, at the end of the day, once you debate with me about it, you will be like, well, it don't matter because it ain't us. And no, don't tell me it don't matter. It didn't matter in the first place, so you should have never picked up that neo-Nazi skinhead racist satire and started regurgitating it and plagiarizing it and everything else and bringing it into our communities. This is what I am trying to stop. We don't need that fake shit. Let them stay over there with that shit. And let us do what we do over here. I don't necessarily need latest. I need popular, maybe. And let me go back to latest. Well, it's not a lot to be said again about this orange cat. It's not like you're looking at when we talk about Trump and when you talk about Elon. I've already proven it. So if you don't know this already, you can research it on your own or go to the YouTube channel at the Alhambra Society 313, and you'll see that Trump was a Democrat for many years. Elon, the South African Elon, he was a Democrat for many years. And the first CEO of said United States of America to give him hundreds of millions of dollars was not Trump. It wasn't Trump's administration. It was Obama's administration that was cutting the checks. He was sitting in the office, in the Oval Office, balancing the books and cutting the checks for every fucking body but us. The same way this orange cat is. And it's not going to be any different, right? We're going to have to completely pull away. Why would you want to participate in a system that was invented to disenfranchise you? And not just invented to do it, it's been doing it for a very long time. All of this pull yourself up by your bootstraps, like, what? Do you know how condescending that shit is when, again, we didn't just have a Black Wall Street, right? But we could just use that as an example, right? Where we had everything. And when I say we had everything, right? And it wasn't just the jealous, racist white folk in the next town who were responsible for raiding these various melanated towns that were flourishing at the time, right? What they call that, the Red Summer. They use mayors, governors, and the federal government also aided these racist bastards with military force. Again, in 1919, 1920, and 1921. Because see, they wasn't just hanging us and eating us, right? You know they was hanging us and eating us, right? They was robbing us. And they still robbing you. They still have their hand in your pocket. Because you think, because I'm telling you that you're not supposed to be a citizen subject, right? Or just an American national. You're something much greater than that. You're connected to the land by way of lineage. And they are not. And visibly, how you say that? Visibly, they are not connected to the land in the same way that you and I are connected to the land. But like many just chose to ignore that. And I, for the life of me, will never understand why. I cannot align myself with my adversaries. Because that is ass backward. That is asinine. And really unacceptable, right? In this day and age, because it's not a lot that I've just stated that you all don't know already. It just seems to be a lot of people are afraid to say the things that I've been saying. And I'm not. I just sat up here and told y'all about my experiences when my family, well, when my mom, peace be upon her, relocated us to Florida. I literally had a white woman who would see me ride my bike, see a baby ride her bike, and let her dog out to bite me and chase me. Every time she seen me riding my bike down the street, right? This is the kind of shit that I've endured. But again, had I never lived down there and grew up slowly here in Detroit, I would have never faced that type of racism. So who's to say, that I would be able to comprehend a lot of what I talk about right now? Those experiences are what shaped and molded me. Did it take me to go to the South to see that? I just would have never experienced it personally here in Detroit. I experienced it simply by going to Cedar Point as a baby, right? Being called an N-word by a bunch of actual N-words. A bunch of troglodyte niggers was calling me a nigger. Like, what the fuck? Makes no sense. But it didn't stop it from happening, and it's still happening right now to somebody else. But right now, while, you know what I'm saying? Or today, earlier today, it probably was about 10 or 20 melanated children living in a 4% non-white town or neighborhood, and some cracker decides to let their dog out the door to chase that child. This shit happen every day, all day, y'all, right here now today in 2025. So it could never be in me at all to support a Democrat, a Republican. Like I said, if the East West Indian woman was in the office right now, I would be dragging her ass too. The only way to escape my wrath is to balance the books by cutting the checks. That's how you escape my wrath. And again, these people are in the business of making the wealthy wealthier, no more, no less. So all that rallying, you know what I'm talking about? And all that trauma bonding. Because it started off for my brothers, you know what I'm saying, who support Trump and push Trump and went out and voted for Trump. It started off as a trauma bond. Y'all seen the man getting nicked by a bullet because he, you can say he got shot or he got shot at. Some people would just say he got shot at. He got nicked. That bullet nicked that nigga ear. I saw that. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, he has how many felonies? 30 plus felonies, right? That for many appear to be some form of trumped up charges, right? So, he talks to women any old kind of way, you know what I'm saying? As if he's better than a woman. Like, there's a lot of trauma bonding that happened in between my people and him. And again, you're talking about billionaires. They have the ability to hire the various strategists, you understand, who follow this algorithm to find out what's cracking by way through his son, Eric Trump, which he probably gonna, be our next president, or if not the very next president, he's gonna be one who's gonna run. I'll just say that, because we don't know who's been chosen, because these people are chosen. The same way, again, Barack knew when he was a child that eventually he was gonna be a senator, and eventually that he was gonna be the president of the United States. By way of his bloodline, that's what he was bred to do. He wasn't bred to get up in there or he wasn't raised to get up in there and do shit for us. And regardless to what you would like to think about this LMNOPTQ2TT stuff that y'all would like to blame on Obama, being that, yes, he did sign, he did give them a lot of benefits when he was in office, right? But y'all forgot about y'all boy Trump parading around that rainbow flag. You understand? And he was even selling rainbow items. Oh, y'all got a short ass memory, or I can respect it if you just say you didn't fucking know. He was on a rainbow team too. He was on the rainbow team too. The same way he's always going to be on Hillary Clinton's team, because Hillary Clinton is his relative. They are cousins. And look here. Where my face at right quick. It's different. If I was to sit here and tell you a lie, that's one thing. But you're going to listen to a blue eye lie to you and let him keep lying to you? This motherfucker said he was gonna lock Hillary up. I knew that wasn't gonna happen because I knew that was his fucking family. It's easy to verify what I'm saying. It's very easy to verify that Hillary Rodham Clinton is his cousin, right? So that's one lie out of many. This motherfucker told y'all that. I'm gonna keep saying this. You give me no choice. You give me no choice. I have to come with the facts because again, y'all always create these straw man arguments and want to come at me talking about some liberal shit. I don't give a fuck about a liberal. I don't, unless it's Jasmine Crawford. I like her. But see, she don't have no power. Her voicing the facts, she's not just voicing her opinion in a lot of these cases. She be voicing the facts. And my brothers who love Trump cannot stand her ass. I love to hear her drag these fucking zombies. I love it. I love it. I'm not a Democrat supporter. I don't support none of that shit. But she be spitting the facts. This cat took an oath to the Constitution, but now he's on national television telling y'all that he don't know whether or not he has to honor the Constitution. Like, this nigga is a habitual liar. So yeah, y'all can miss me with the, but what about the liberals? I don't give a fuck about neither one of them. They are cousins, literally, figuratively, factually, actually. But y'all gonna drag this black woman. Oh, she ghetto. Oh, she, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. She, you know what I'm saying? If a lot of these cats is running around regurgitating with these neo-Nazi racist motherfuckers who hate her guts, y'all are regurgitating what they are saying. I want you to remember that. If them motherfuckers and some of y'all had to sit down and take an IQ test versus this sister, you wouldn't beat her. It's like you're not gonna beat me in this. I'm an MC. You're never gonna beat me in a debate. And I got enough sense that if it's something that I'm not thoroughly versed in, I'm not gonna try to debate you on it. I'm gonna step back and I'm gonna examine everything thoroughly, right? And if I could come to the conclusion that I got your number, I'm gonna cream your ass, then that's what I'm gonna do. Outside of that, anything that, like, and I use this as an example often, flat earth stuff, like, I don't have a ruler to measure that. I don't have the lab techs or the laboratories to goddamn measure that. So I'm not gonna say, oh, the earth is flat. And I ain't gonna say, oh, the earth ain't flat. Bitch, I don't know. I'm gonna need some of y'all to start, not in that particular situation, but in many other situations, I'm gonna need y'all to start being real with yourselves. You know what I'm saying? And stop trying to be fake with me. It gets you nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is about to piss me off so bad. We just getting in it 3 days ago. That's all right, y'all, because I got a new computer. And it'll be delivered soon. We got to be getting close because I keep seeing a Foot Locker, the quadruple shooting outside the Foot Locker, where some guys tried to, where they jumped this young lady's brother and she got the pop. And this is not, like I said, this is not like no other place right here. And again, like we mentioned too, the same way Michigan is an open carry state, so is Ohio, and then quite a few others. So yeah, it's, certain things that they may get away with in other places, it will be very difficult for them to run that demonstration here because, again, we of a different breed. And a lot of us have parents or grandparents who come from the South, who's about that business. A lot of them relocated to Detroit, not just because of opportunity and jobs, not just because at the time Detroit was the richest city in the world. A lot of them had to relocate back up here because a lot of them took it to them racist ass crackers down here and they could not be down there no more. Big Mama was like, you gotta go. They're gonna kill you, and I'm not gonna allow them to kill my son, and in some cases my daughter. We're gonna take it to them. And it's gonna either their family gonna be decimated or our family. So to avoid that, you going to Chicago or you going to Detroit, or we sending your ass to New York with your other cousins and your uncles and aunties. Because understand, we got people north, south, east, west, right? My grandmother is from New York. You see what I'm saying? My mother is born and raised in Detroit, right? But I'm pretty sure my maternal great great grandmother was from the South somewhere, right? It just is what it is. We get a crack in any and everything, you know. Even even in some of these places that they refer to as the Bible Belt. How you say that? Like South Carolina. A lot of them brothers and sisters down there. The minute I open up my mouth, they, oh, I don't want to hear that. I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. I don't want to hear like you don't want your freedom. You see what I'm saying? You don't want your freedom at all. So I can't force freedom on you. I can't force knowledge on you. But one thing I can do though is get y'all off this pseudo shit, and I can challenge that and help y'all overcome a lot of that, amongst other things that we don't talk about on camera, right? Because we smarter than that. This is they doing the same shit they did to me yesterday. I don't believe this shit. Let me see something like right. Try one more. I do not see this shit. And if you was on here yesterday, you seen me go through the same shit. I see everything but the right thing. And everything just moving ultra slow. This is what we gonna do. Because you're not about to do this to me. I know I saved this video, so I'm gonna check my messenger right quick. And I'm gonna roll up some more of these comments. He was kissing Giuliani in drag. Oh my God, like, yeah, again, y'all just want to point at Obama with the promotion of, the homosexual legislation that he put out here. It's not just him. And these people play, you know what I'm saying? They play for the same, they play for the same side. You can be bamboozled. I never will. You understand? When I'm looking at somebody like a Ronald Wilson Reagan, Mr. 666 himself, right? And the moves that he made, and he is someone who Trump idolizes, right? So we have to go back to when he was the governor of the state of California, prior to him becoming the president of the United States. When we talk about Ronald Wilson Reagan, and look at what he did to Congress, right? We have to look at the legislation that he put into play, which threw a monkey wrench in their whole program. What is that? I don't believe this shit. 2 days in a row they did this shit to me. They must want me to start crying again. I don't know. It's pissing me off. Hold up, y'all. I'm sorry. I gotta run a commercial because I gotta get this across. We gotta see this the right way, because yesterday it was jacked up. So let me run this commercial.
YouTube, you fools try to limit me, muting and deleting channels, thinking that's the end of me. Y'all are not on my level, smaller than a centipede. This is my purpose, TBT is a ministry. I do not tire, my God gives me energy. Chose by Messiah, you believe, come get with me. Married to a black queen, we got the illest chemistry. Founded the Black Tube, and now we making history. Black Tube, 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 Black Tube. Black tube, 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 what? TBT, 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 what? TBT, 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 what? TheBlackTube.com. I'm a giant killer, son of an omniscient God who's realer. If this be the thriller in Manila, I'm Ali in his prime. It's showtime, go time, about to take what's mine. We are not with your agenda. We showing real life.
So, if you have not checked out the Black Tube, make sure you do that as well, right? Again, that is a place that you can go and you will be surprised of the content that is there. I guarantee you it is fully loaded, as well as if you are interested in broadcasting there, you're guaranteed to not be restricted the way that you are here with these various community standards on these other platforms that we frequent, the ones that are more popular and known. BlackTube lit. I'm telling you, once you go, you're gonna love it. Because just about anything you would like to see, any current television shows or any old school stuff, any old school movies, television shows, they have their own popular content creators there as well. And again, that is a place where our movement is not restricted. You can say what you need to say, how you need to say it, and keep it pushing, and don't have to worry about being blocked, or if you become monetized on that particular platform, you don't have to worry about not getting your bread, right? Copyright strikes and none of that. It is a beautiful space to be. It's just not the most popular right now, right? And there are some celebrities, who have the money to push it over the top, but they come and talk good, but some of them are a little bit afraid. They scared, and some of them are willing to donate, but they don't want their names attached to it because they scared. But I'm quite sure the brothers and sisters who are who own that platform, will take a check from a brother or a sister and be quiet about it, without a doubt. Man, they gonna make me. So this how we gonna do it. I got it, but I'm gonna have to do it from my own. Let me take this down right quick. And again, peace and love. What up, though? What up, though? What's popping? What's cracking? What's happening? Happening in time 9, time 10. Shoot me a like, leave me some comments, share. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that for us. And this shit is still low. Okay, here we go, y'all. So where we at? Last night, Pop upset everybody. He upset everybody. And let's just get to it right quick. I don't want to go off into the future, but I got some stuff for the future where these interruptions that we're having right now are not going to happen, because these are damn near scripted broadcasts that I got coming up, because I'm sticking to one particular topic. We're going to try to be very relatable, right? Almost like you see the people do the reaction videos or whatnot, which is what Amir has been, pleading with me to do for the longest. Like, you need to do reaction videos. I like to stay in this climate that we in right now, because this is more important to me than some reaction videos. Now debunking, yeah. That's something I like to do. Right? It's not even a like. It's it's a bad look. I can't let certain people make us look bad, because they making bad decisions, right? Poor choices, because they want to be popular or whatnot. So this is the standoff that happened in Detroit, where this cat stole a car. The police were aware that he was armed, right? And again, the takedown is the exact opposite of the murder that happened to the young man in Cincinnati, Ryan Hinton, right? So again, this is on West Chicago and Hubble. Now the difference, I understand, this man is not running away physically on foot. But again, if this was a situation that happened in Cincinnati, he wouldn't have survived the way he survived. You see it's state police out there. It's a tank out that piece. Armored truck out there. You got the city of Detroit police out there. See how they doing, y'all? This is donuts. Absolutely donuts. Unbelievable. So again, if it don't, you see this is intentional because my internet, I actually got an ether cord plugged into, you know what I'm saying, the computer. So this kind of shit don't never happen. This just started happening yesterday. Now, granted, sometime in the past when I wasn't using the Ethernet cord or whatnot, sometimes I would have difficulties, whether, I was using Xfinity or it didn't matter what I was using, right? But this right here is extraordinary. This is, look at it. Come on, y'all. Those who rock with me, you've never seen this happen. And I'm not one of those people, you know what I'm saying, that play the fucking blame game when it comes to, okay, we can't get this live right. So you see, they trying to shut us down. Ain't nobody thinking about your little weak ass show. You know what I'm saying? That's what be going through my mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? Technical difficulties is technical difficulties. Why do you think that they're singling you out? Well, in this moment, I guess I have to take my words back because this ain't never. They don't want you to see them take down this particular brother. You know what I'm saying? By using the other tools that they have. Like, why Cincinnati? They don't have rubber bullets? You know they got German Shepherds. Quit playing with me. You know they got tear gas. You know they have the drones with the that can detect the infrared. So they could have let him run on off and caught up with him in the long run. But they didn't take that option. And it's for a reason. It's this current climate. And it's just, you're going to see, like I say, Rodney Hinton Sr., him losing it, you're going to see a lot of that. And they know it. They know it. Because they know it's long overdue. And many of us don't want to accept that. We want to talk about, well, he broke the law. Nah, they fucked that up. When they made the decision that on an annual basis that they were going to create 100,000 new statutes, codes, acts, which y'all call laws, they fucked that up. Right? When they, from again, the Christian black codes to the Jim Crow, the vagrancy laws, this no trespassing. If you get caught trespassing or you're homeless or you don't got a job, you're going to get 10 years in prison and or a $50,000 fine. This is shit they've been doing to us for a couple centuries now. Any way that they can stick their hand in your pocket to keep you just at the poverty line, no matter what they have to do it, they're going to do it. Or to have the opportunity to warehouse and ransom your ass. Nothing has changed. All they did, you know what I'm saying? They may have modified some of their policy, but they didn't abolish shit, not even slavery. Because if you abolish something, you abolish it. You don't say that slavery is illegal, except where someone is duly convicted of a felony. No, it's either illegal or it's not. It's either unlawful, or it's not. And it's not. And they tricky with they shit. They use the word involuntary servitude is illegal. So if you tell me involuntary servitude is illegal, then essentially what you are also saying, get you a law dictionary, you're saying that voluntary servitude is just fine. But involuntary servitude, unless duly convicted of a felony, like, what the fuck is you? So you mean to tell me based off of that, you thought that slavery was abolished? This is just not a matter of people comprehension skills being off. It's a matter of your ass can't read. That's what that boils down to. Or you just so stubborn, arrogant, biased, and self-hating You understand that you're going to keep giving excuses for this current administration, the prior administrations, and all of them. See, these people doing business, right? And when I say we have to stop doing business with them, it's as simple as that. Why would I want to do business, you know what I'm saying, with people who scam and provide military forces to take away what my ancestors worked so hard to rebuild, and then turn around and blame it on their babies? You gonna blame it on me because you stole my generational wealth? And again, something else we don't talk about that much, but they planted the free-base cocaine, i.e. the cocaine, i.e. the crack, into our communities. So that was another way that they stole the generational wealth away from us. We talk about accountability over here, right? And I ask y'all to be accountable for your mistakes the same way that I have to be accountable for mine. But if you're not willing to admit that you was wrong, we see you the motherfucker who will never be able to humble yourself. You know what I'm saying? Most of y'all are not humble enough to pay homage to your own lineage. So how in the fuck is you paying homage to a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, orange person? This nigga stay in the tanning light, whatever you call it, the tanning machine. And playing golf. And I've heard some of the whack-ass lame compliments that, you know, he's maybe he's doing this because this is my own video, y'all. I don't know. That could be it. So I'm not gonna even try. I'm done. Okay, so now all of a sudden they want to play. And now it stops. Oh man, so I'm just gonna go back. Let me take this down, y'all. They don't want to rock with me. But we'll get to it. I guarantee you the next live that I have. I'm gonna start it off with this so we don't get caught up in backtracking all of this stuff. But pretty much. Hold on. How do I? Boom. So I got that turned down and turned off. So we know this is the police state. You heard about the little setup that they have down in Atlanta, which, you know, many of us know that is not going to be beneficial to us at all. At all. The same way they've done the same thing here in Detroit on the north end of the city, and across Highland Park, John R area, right? Because for me, if you're from the D, some of y'all think that once you're east of Woodward, that you're on the west side. No, I mean that you're on the east side. You're not on the east side of Detroit until you're east of John R, not Woodward. So, not gonna try to argue with you about it, but these are the facts. So that area right there, yeah, they going through it right now. They saying they doing it to try to cut down crime and this, that, and the third or whatever, but we know what it is. So let's take a look. So it took them 3 hours to subdue this suspect, right? But again, not in Cincinnati. not in Cincinnati. They weren't willing to take their time, right, and do it in a lawful manner, because what they did was unlawful by murdering that young man. That was extreme, but they have always been extreme. Anytime that you are willing to assist some redneck hillbillies by way of military force from your government, right, to destroy an entire town of prosperous indigenous, aboriginal, autochthonous, the real Americans, right? But this is what they do for their brothers and sisters. So again, when I'm aiming at these people, don't come aiming at me, because when you aim at me, when I'm aiming at these people, you helping those people. And that is a terrible look. You see the drone? So Cincinnati don't got drones? I'm asking because I don't know. I don't live in Cincinnati. I live in my body. You know what I'm saying? I live within my temple where, you know what I'm saying, my energy is currently being housed. So they couldn't have did the same thing. We know very well they had the capabilities to do the same thing. They just didn't care to. Because to them, that young man is an N-word. So again, my brothers, this is what you have aligned yourself with. This bromance that y'all have with the orange guy is embarrassing. And this is why, again, on an international basis, we don't get a lot of respect as a people. Whether you want to say black, well, I don't give a shit. This is the very reason. But I bet you this. I bet you on an international basis. These people have more respect for Rodney Hinton Jr. than most of us do. Because he took a stance. Yes, he did. No matter how you feel about it. Well, the cop that he ran over or whatnot, he not even the cop that did that to his son. We got every straw man argument and excuse in the world. And I'm not buying it. This is foot to ass 2025. Foot to ass 20, and whatever ass is in the way, I'm kicking their ass out the fucking way. Now, if I got to kick your ass, you know what I'm saying, or off the ledge of that building that you standing on with that blindfold on with your fucking eyes closed, then that's just what it is. That's what it is, and that's what it's going to be, because they had multiple resources in order to apprehend that young man. You know, we don't use the word arrest. I call it what it is, to kidnap. Right? If you innocent until proven guilty, of committing a crime, then that's what it's supposed to be. It ain't supposed to be like this for you and like that for them. Nah. But again, when you got somebody, a CEO sitting up in that White House telling y'all he don't know if he has to abide by the Constitution, but that's what he swore on. And that's what the lady, Jasmine Crawford, recently got on his ass about when he's sitting up calling her dumb. Nigga. First of all, Trump does not have a degree in political science. Where I'm at. Put me back on the screen because I don't have enough. I think I made my point. With they did a poor job. They made some poor choices. And one of theirs had to pay for taking the life of that young man. Right? That's just what it is. All of these excuses, I'm not buying it. All of this leaning to a left wing or a right wing and a liberal or a conservative, when you won't have a fraction of the wealth that these fucking people have. But you regurgitating their propaganda. You're following their narratives and their agendas. And bitch, you ain't even in the fucking picture. Excuse my French, I'm sorry. You ain't nowhere in the fucking picture. You can't even hold a frame. They won't even allow you to hold a picture up. So miss me with that liberal shit. I don't give a shit about none of that shit. Only thing I care about is them balancing the books and cutting the checks. Because they're doing business and leaving us out. Right? So why the fuck would I vote for anybody? We see it didn't work out with the civil rights movement. You see, days after Martin Luther King, peace be upon him, which let me say this too, because I made a statement on one of my older joints about this. I can recall, some of my brothers and sisters out of the new Marcus Garvey Black Panther movement, some of my Moors, you see what I'm saying? Some of my Hebrew Israelites, right? These are all organizations that once upon a time I rock with, right? Y'all tried to make us hate Martin Luther King. Oh, he changed his name from Michael, and bruh, you can miss me with all that shit. That man lost his life, right? And there were other attempts made on his life. And not to mention what happened to, you know what I'm saying, his mother, by way of a Hebrew Israelite. Did we forget that it was a melanated Christian woman who said God told her to kill Martin Luther King, so she stabbed him, and he was inches away from dying? You think you greater than that type of activism? Little keyboard gangsters. Y'all so disrespectful. Let me say it the proper way. Some of us are so disingenuous and disrespectful to one another. How could we ever expect the international community to respect us when we don't respect one another? I'm literally talking about the orange man this, the orange man that, and I got 5, 6, 19, 25 melanated men coming at my head talking to me about a fucking liberal. I give a shit about that shit. And I'm gonna speak on this too, because over the years I have had Minister Louis Farrakhan back since I was a child. I went against some of my brothers and sisters who can't stand him because of what happened to Malcolm and will never respect Farrakhan, and I still held him down. I have some, after the what do y'all call that? Them science church motherfuckers. That Farrakhan started rocking with the Church of Science. So what's the name of that shit, y'all? I ain't even on the comments. I'm in this 14 comments, my bad. The Scientology people. We kind of let Farrakhan slide with that, of the Nation of Islam slide with the joining and other Scientology shit or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But the recent statement that he made about Trump being an anomaly, how y'all say that? You don't have a speech impediment. Anomaly. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. That made my stomach hurt when he said that, right? I ain't gonna even lie. And what is happening is the same way that Trump got in the position that he's in right now. One of the ways that really helped him again was his son and Elon having control of Twitter. That particular anomaly. I could spell it. I just can't say it. You know what I'm saying? Anomaly. Whatever. You get what I'm saying. Well, as of recent, I began to notice in 2006 that Farrakhan was doing something similar, right? He started talking about Moors. As of recent, he's been talking about us being indigenous, aboriginal, or talking to the Americas, right? And these are things that originally were coming from Moors, right? He started, I don't hear them talking about Master Farah Muhammad, the white man, being God in the person no more. You know what I'm saying? They're making statements like, well, no, we don't believe in that. These are the younger generation of the NOI trying to tell me that, well, he said that that ain't what we believe. We believe that the woman is second to God now, and all, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, miss me with all that bullshit, because you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Essentially, what Farrakhan is doing is saving face. Now, let me say this. What's the Vlad? Very well, Vlad owed Minister Farrakhan an apology for the fuck shit that he said some years ago. And as of recent, he went on Willie D show and did this forced apology or whatnot, right? Which is way too late. You know what I'm saying? We don't accept your apology, motherfucker. Mr. Russian Jewish guy. We don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't accept your apology. You save it, keep it. We don't even want it now because you waited too late to make it, right? But again, as of right now, Farrakhan is literally just following the information that we putting out here, right? And he's riding that algorithm. He see that's what's popular. So like Trump, he riding that shit like a horse. We see you. We see you. It don't change shit. For those of us that know, those of us that don't know, then yeah, maybe, you buying into that shit. You buying into him, speaking about us being indigenous to this land or whatnot. No, we're not riding that because that's not your information. Now, we appreciate you speaking on it and giving light to it, because the Nation of Islam is big, is large, it's huge. It's huger than the Moorish Science Temple of America, although they're not even a factor in this, because they're strictly about their doctrine, right? That little Holy Quran, Aquarian Gospel pamphlet they got, they strictly about that, no more, no less, right? So when you start talking about Moors and you start thinking about Tarbushas or Fezes, them not the ones. Them not the ones that was putting this information out here, so don't be misled. Those are the ones that we still have to fight until this day, because they think they own the term Moor, right? Even when we say M-U-U-R, we start talking about Lemuria, we start talking about Washita, Yamasee, or Chickasaw, you know what I'm saying? Apache, we're talking about 2, 3, 4, 10 different things at the same time. And in a lot of cases, we can all be right. But this tends to happen when you come from the most ancient people on the planet. Like, we did some of everything, but one thing that the ancestors never did is to open up one book and say this book is the end all be all, and anything that's contrary to it is nothing. And that's not how scholarship works. You know that. Scholarship don't work that way, right? The same way science doesn't work that way. Science doesn't stay the same, right? Because we never stop discovering it. We stay trapped into one scientific theology, then we can't grow that way. And this is what's happening with y'all with these various ideologies that y'all follow. You know what I'm saying? That monotheistic shit. That this is the one God, the only God. No, all of y'all are gods. And you know what I'm saying? By way of, you are a part of that energy, the real you. I'm not talking about the physical being, right? That's not what I'm talking about. So when I call my brother a god, or I call my sister a god or a goddess or an empress, it's all relative. But for somebody who is stuck in Judaism, Islam, or Christianity, to them that is blasphemy, because they are uneducated, right? You thought you come on now. This is why I often say this. I find myself saying this multiple times throughout the day to multiple different people, which is, to have a father God without a mother God is very homo, right? And these various ideologies are responsible for the destruction of the Holy Divine Trinity of mother, father, child, mother, father, children. I'm not having no father God without no mother God, the same way I'm not going to have a mother God without a father God. That is absolutely asinine. And don't sit here and tell me about how God don't have a gender. Don't talk to me like I'm stupid. My point is this destruction that is embedded, this self-destruction, this self-hate that has become embedded within us came by way of us worshiping a father God without a mother God. And for centuries, we have been saying Lord, he, him, Father God. Especially, again, my Jamaicans, they don't even just say God, they specifically say Father God, right? Yeah, I never hear nobody say Mother God, please help me. Because we fucked up in the head is what it is. We've had everything stolen from us. Everything. I don't care what it is. Everything. They don't want you to have shit. Nothing. Literally nothing. To the point to where really you don't have shit. Right? Your car ain't yours. Your house ain't yours. Can you have something and not register it with their entities? Can you have something that you purchased, right? Something that you purchased that's not taxed on an annual basis? And I'm not talking about a t-shirt. I ain't talking about these earrings. I ain't talking about this necklace. I'm not talking about none of that shit. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about your home. I'm talking about your modes of transportation. They don't want you to have shit. And they set this system up with these adhesion contracts, right? And these excise taxes to make sure that you never had shit. But you've been led to believe that the reason that you pay property taxes and things like this and that is because that tax money provides you with things like the fire department and trash pickup and all this stupid shit. Don't you know that your city gets an annual budget from the state and that state gets an annual budget from the federal government? Who has erroneously created this fiat currency system? I know it's not new. I know I can find it. And I wouldn't call it ancient times, right? But I know we can go back in time somewhat and find a fiat currency system, but not to the degree that it is at right now, right? See, when they create these physical policies, it is based off of this fiat currency system, which was designed to do exactly what it does, which is create more debt. Because for them, the debt is the money. As long as they can continue to extend the debt, because understand this, if they wanted to stop that national debt and decrease it, they could. But then they would no longer be the wealthiest criminal enterprise or country or nation state, bar none. People, other nations would no longer purchase their bonds. And essentially, they don't give a fuck anyway because they put the debt on their citizens. These are things, you know what I'm saying, that we need to know. And what was most important is that we stop doing business with these people. We stop doing business with them, then they don't have no business interacting with you. The same way you don't see them snatching somebody who is give me a good one, a Creek, somebody who is registered as a Creek American Indian, right? These are one of the tribes who have recognition by way of the federal government. They don't kidnap them and lock them up and hold them for ransom. They don't send CPS out to their house because you know, the parents of these children aren't allowing them to be vaccinated and immunized. How you say that? To get immunizations and things like this and that. But they do that shit to us. And we got to stop it. The only way to stop it is to no longer do business with these people. And that's not a difficult task. What's difficult, again, is the fact that you're talking about millions of so-called laws that are on the books. No, like I told y'all, Johnny Cochran did not know all of these laws. There's no attorney on earth who can keep up with what they produce on an annual basis, which is another 100,000 policies on an annual basis. And all of these various policies started out being for and about us and keeping us, you know what I'm saying, as wards. Facts. That is our freedom. That's how we get to it right there. That's exactly how we get to it. Until then, you'll be a Negro, black, colored person, you know what I'm saying, with your babies. You see the lady they had laying on the ground with her little 3-year-old girl? Now, I showed y'all a video from Colorado about maybe 4 or 5 years ago where the police were saying that the mother with her children, that she was driving a stolen, it was a little mini caravan or something like that, snatched her and her babies out and laid them on the hot ground in the Walmart parking lot, suggesting that her car was stolen when it was not. Hold on, I'm trying not to. This shit hurt. This shit hurt, and it's gonna continue to happen until we pull away from them and let them know, I'm not your nigga, I'm not your property, I'm not none of that. Whether you want to say you're from this clan or you're from that tribe, that's cool. But we have to do these things in unison, the way we were doing it before such interruptions happened, right? That stagnated these movements, starting with Dwight York. Many of y'all get really upset with me when I start talking about Dwight York, right? And I don't give no fuck. Because like I've said multiple times, it had to be 91, 92. I'm leaning more towards 1992 when I first started originally following Dr. York by way of his literature, his books, right? First book of his that got put in my hand was The Pale Man in the Bible. And I absolutely love that shit, right? But I know how to separate. I know how to separate scholarship, you see what I'm saying, from idols. Because that's what he turned into. And this is a man who plagiarized everybody information. He plagiarized Noble Drew. And then the bad thing about it, the fucked up part about it is he didn't just plagiarize all of these various organizations and their leaders' information. First, he drugged them and talked about them like they wasn't shit. Then he made his own copy of their doctrine. You understand? And then took on their how do you say? You know, their guard, right? You seen them with the fez on sometime. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you've seen them with the war bonnet, right? These are all organizations that he originally shitted on. That's just like in the early 90s when he relocated from New York down into Georgia, and he was dragging the shit out of Dr. Ben, right? And he was dragging the shit out of people who were following Kemet. He said those people are devils. They devil worshippers. People who worship, or teach the people, these scholars who were teaching the people, these Kemetic scholars who were teaching the people about what we call Egypt or Tamaray or Misaim, right? He literally called Dr. Ben a devil and said that his followers was devils, right? And then a year or two later, what did Dwight York start doing? He started teaching the people about Kemet, and he had them start building pyramids on the land and all. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't, if you don't know what a habitual liar looks like, you that gullible, then in a lot of situations, what it is many people that are still following him and insisting that he's not guilty and trying to sell the shit about he's a dignitary or some type of diplomat or Liberian. I've heard lies over the years that he ain't even in prison no more. They got him out of prison. They keep trying to sell you a lie that they're gonna get him. He not getting out of shit. He's exactly where he belongs. He took the Empress, peace be upon her, Empress Verdiasi shit, stole her shit. He put himself at the top of everybody else shit after he dragged the shit out of whatever leader is there. I've been watching that man do this shit for a long time. And again, he is exactly where he belongs. And I know it hurt. I just got finished telling the brother. I seen he put a post up on Facebook talking about some, if you don't rock with Dr. York, like, fuck, I'm paraphrasing. That's not how he said it, but as rough as I can be when it comes to my replies and my rebuttals, I be gentle with those people because I used to be you, right? From the year of 2006 up until 2011, I relentlessly researched that Dr. York's case, right? And by the time I got around to 2011, I had enough evidence in my possession to know very well that he was guilty. But you cannot get me to admit to it. That's how mind fucked I know y'all is, because I was there. Right? I'm one of the people who, in 2005, my UCC 1 statement was up under the Nuwaubian Nation of Moors, right? I was one of the people who was giving away the Nuwaubic CDs and telling people they need to learn how to speak that language. And I used to go to the classes at All Eyes on Egypt, right? They didn't like me too much. A lot of people, within these movements, we some biased people, right? You look at me, you look at my complexion or whatnot, and try to figure out, am I mixed? And I'm not mixed worth a fuck. Both of my parents is melanated. Both of them. And all 4 of my grandparents. And all 8 of my great-grandparents. Right? The closest thing that you can show me to somebody who look like they might be biracial, you have to go back way further than that. Like, yeah, to find one person, right, who they was calling mulatto, but come to find out this is Creek. You see what I'm saying? You see, it just, and then the paintings is everything. The paintings of my great grandparents and all that, the hung from the wall, right? Who I very much favor. The same way my parents favor them. The same way I look just like my parents. Those were my references on the wall. So when I would go to my mama talking about, oh, buy me this African medallion, she'd buy it for me, but she'd straight my ass out while she bought it for me, right? Same way I was infatuated when I was growing up with the Nation of Islam because of peace be upon him, Malcolm X, right? And my mama was like, no, I'm not even fucking with them. And I don't want you fucking with them. But now as a grown woman, I understand, because I know many women who are up under that cloak of the Nation of Islam, and their husbands don't let them go nowhere. And I'm not saying this applies to all of the women, but it's really fucked up, y'all. It's really fucked up. You can't go to the grocery store with your sister. You think your husband think that I'm going to influence you on a trip to the grocery store to leave the Nation of Islam or to no longer be Islamic. And for him to be so paranoid and so pussy as to think that even if I was saying that to you, that you would even listen to me after he done mind fucked you. It's crazy. Again, these organizations and these ideologies are extremely patriarchal, have no mother God, are monotheistic, which means they are pitted against each other, which is very stupid because they all are from the branches of the same tree, like I keep saying. Well, let me go back to talking about Malachi Z. York, i.e. Dwight York. This is the thing. Once a motherfucker lie to you about where they were born at and who their parents actually are, and you're able to find this information, and you still believe this shit? This man lied about where he was born 19 times. And it go like this. Once you tell one lie, what happens? You got to tell some more lies. And that's what he been doing for a very long time. So I be gentle with y'all, because again, I was there. I didn't, like I said, I had all the evidence in my hands, the same way that you can right now, because all of his records are declassified. It took me all the way up until 2018 to admit to this man's guilt. But what I will say is, by way of the Final Call magazine, when I found out, you know what I'm saying, that he pleaded guilty and this, that, and the third, and whatever, we always gonna try to protect the motherfucker, no matter what they did, even to the tune of you know, sexually assaulting babies and giving babies herpes. Like, all of this, his medical records and everything are on record. It's just not the one guy, I can't think of his name, that released a lot of this stuff, right? How do you think he got it? He got the shit the same way I got it. It's declassified. But y'all don't want to know. You think that this man is some type of... if this nigga is really from a different planet, why he don't click his two heels together and get the fuck up out that goddamn prison? This nigga done told y'all he 19 different motherfuckers. He's one motherfucker, and who that is Dwight York. That's who he is. So let me say this. When I initially heard about what he was accused of doing, I never said that he wasn't guilty. Let's get that straight. Although I was fucked up in the head, I never said he wasn't guilty, but I never said he was guilty. I always said I don't know. And the reason that is because throughout my whole life, I always knew that 4 out of every 5 melanated women have been sexually assaulted before, right? And with me knowing that this is a fact, when you got friends, right? You got female friends from Detroit to New York to Atlanta to Chicago, all the way down to Tampa, all the way down to Miami. And out of all of y'all, there's maybe 1 or 2 of y'all who were never violated in that manner. I don't have to deal with the statistics from the CDC, right? I got 2 eyes to see and 2 ears to hear. Well, I got 3 eyes. You see what I'm saying? But again, so again, I never said he wasn't guilty. I'm going to say, as I was saying, or what I was saying was, I don't know. I don't know, right? But math don't lie, right? Math don't lie. This man got over 100 different children, right? So you deduct the children's ages from the young women's ages, and you'll find out that he impregnated these women when they were minors. And they were not legally able to give consent to have intercourse with this man. So y'all want to blame this shit on Jacob? Let me tell you why you blame this shit on Jacob. See, you wasn't around since 1992. I was. Right? I wasn't on the land. You see what I'm saying? I'm not from New York. I'm from Detroit, right? So I wasn't in Brooklyn either. I wasn't up in Catskill either. But it makes no difference. Because it go like this. Again, once you deduct the ages of those children from those young women, you'll discover that they were underage and he had no business penetrating them, period. But it don't surprise me, because our women and children, for the most part, have went unprotected for decades, and this shit has ran rapid within our communities unchecked 98% of the time for decades. And we talk about, oh, the why she ain't never say shit, you know what I'm saying, and never told nobody. Let me tell you something. Many of us did speak up, right? Only for grandma to say, don't say that. Don't talk about that. We're going to take it to Jesus. Or only for mama to smack the fuck out you because you telling her that her boyfriend did this and that to you and your little brother, right? Or for you to take it to the police, for you to call your auntie because your mama on bullshit. So your auntie, like, if I see that motherfucker, I'm going to kill her, right? So auntie take y'all to the police station, right? You rape kids, tests or whatever on you. Only for, just like here in Detroit, I'm going to show y'all this and then I'm going to get out of here. Because I'm not going to keep reiterating some shit that your lazy ass can go look up your fucking self to find out that this man is the fucking pedophile. He's the worst pedophile that ever fucking lived. And he is responsible for stagnating all of our movements. Whether you're talking about Ouachita, whether you're talking about Great Seal Moors. You understand? He plagiarized all of this information and put his name at the top. Fucking schizophrenic, psychotic son of a bitch. So let me show you something. We talk about, well, and this goes for these celebrities too. We'll talk about how, well, why they ain't never say nothing? Why they ain't go tell the, how the fuck you know that they didn't already go tell the police 3 and 4 years when this shit already happened? And I'm gonna prove to you some shit right here. Where it at? I hope it don't take all day. It look like it won't take all day because y'all, they don't want y'all to get this. But we gonna get it tonight. We gonna get it tonight. And I see Baysung and I told you, bro, don't even say shit else to me. If you're not willing to go do the fucking research about what I said to you, don't say shit else to me about that orange motherfucker. You want to keep supporting them and promoting them, then you do what the fuck you do. That's on you. But again, the shit that y'all doing is embarrassing as fuck, and I'm gonna keep talking about it. Period. You're not gonna embarrass the fuck out of me when you carrying the same titles of nobility that I'm carrying, and got, you know, my little hip hop community people being like, well, this Moore said that, or this person who say they indigenous and got some of the same IDs and stuff that you, they said this, and they said Michelle Obama is a man. I don't give a fuck. I'm climbing you niggas. It's foot to ass 2025 with y'all in this pseudo ass information and this shit that y'all keep regurgitating that is destroy all of our movements. So here you go right here. This is reported in the year 2009. Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy office discovered 11,341. Let that number marinate on you for 1 second while I blow it up for you. All right. No, I wanna, because I don't know. I don't see people using their little fake Facebook pages or whatever to do their lives. I don't give a fuck. Facebook for me, at least my page, is somewhat like a diary. There's so much stuff that I put on there, right? And I could automatically always go back to it and pull it up, right? So 2009, Wayne County Prosecutor Kim L. Worthy office discovered 11,341 sexual assault kits in a Detroit Police Department property storage facility. The kits, which were collected between 1984 and 2009, when the kits, which were collected between 1984 and 2009, were never submitted for DNA testing. This is me, right? This is what I'm saying to you. This is part of the reason a large percentage of our women and children are LHBTQTFU confused and are the most human trafficked beings on the planet, barring none. Child sexual assault has went unchecked for decades by parents, police, religious institution, and now our babies are gay as fuck. I'ma say it the real way. I ain't gonna even say it how I spelled it backward on Facebook so I can get away with it. But I'm talking to adults. We all adults here, right? This is why the babies think that they're little boys when they're little girls, or want to be little girls instead of little boys, and little boys instead of little girls. Because they don't want to be you motherfuckers who never protected their ass. And if it don't apply, let it fly. If it don't apply, let it fly. Because many of us, like myself, will take it there. If I find out that you mess with a child that I know, it's going down, and it has went down. I'll just say that. And then we want to act like we don't know why the babies is confused. This is one of the main reasons why. And on top of the fact that they put this stuff everywhere, this LMNOPTQQ stuff is everywhere. It's on every TV show. It's in every movie. We've always knew that homosexuals existed, but it wasn't always in our face. When I was in elementary school and middle school and even high school, there were no girls walking through the school holding hands and kissing and shit. But now kids are doing this as young as middle school. That shit didn't exist. Now, granted, I'm sure that there were plenty of people, I'll just say it that way, when they were minors who were attracted to the same sex, right? Or felt as though they were attracted to both sexes. But 9 times out of 10, those children were 4 out of 5, those were the children who have been sexually abused, right? It's proven to be a fact. I talked about the Saucy Santana cat that be on Love and Hip Hop or whatever. And he's coming out talking about, the man in his family who was sexually assaulting him as a child. And he is gay as the fuck he want to be. But do you think that it's a possibility, had that not happened to him, that he wouldn't have grew up confused like that? Do you think that when it happened to him, if his parents corrected that situation, we'll just say it that way, that there's a possibility that he wouldn't have walked in the shoes that he's walking in now? See, the things that I know, you're not going to be able to fucking change my mind about. Because I done dealt with this shit my entire life. I dealt with this shit my entire life. So, again, there's nothing you're going to be able to tell me about this shit. Just straight up. I'm going to keep it real with you, right? Me, myself, personally, growing up with 3 brothers, being a tomboy, what they call it, you the pretty little tomboy, you know what I'm saying? Being a rapper or MC, you see what I'm saying? Being involved in various businesses that are male dominated. Many people expected me to fucking grow up and fucking be gay, right? And I ain't never been attracted to no bitch. And there's nothing a bitch could ever fucking do for me. Ever. Ever. But again, based off of my stance, right? Based off of me, a lot of times having to be the person in my family to come out with the strap because somebody being disrespectful. People thought I was gonna be. You see this though? Never. Never. I don't go against nature. Doing unnatural things. Those are unnatural things. And at the rate that we going with our women and children participating in these unnatural behaviors, I got no choice but to fucking step up. Where some of us won't. And I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna give praises and pay homage to others who do the same, right? To the 2 and few who I know who had children that were sexually assaulted, right? By grown-ass men and grown-ass women. To the 2 and few who took that into their own hands, I honor and I salute you. I will always send money to you. Always. Because it's not enough of us who are willing to take a motherfucker out who deserve it. So, my sentiments are this, and I'm going to go back to Dwight York for a minute. He lucky he where he at. Because he don't deserve to be living. He should have been hung. Some Moors should have strung his ass up. Some Pan-Africans should have strung his ass up. Some Hebrew Israelites should have strung his ass up. Some of you Kemetic community brothers and sisters should have strung that nigga up and been able to take, been willing to take whatever charge came with that shit. Facts. Again, this is not, this man wasn't just assaulting these girls and boys. He was impregnating them. And a lot of them he gave herpes to. So when these women and young women and young men are giving their testimony and you fuck niggas who ride that nigga dick and hug his nuts because he plagiarized some scholarship that you never heard before. You never heard about Sumer. You didn't know who the Anunnaki was, right? When there are literally hundreds of books that predate any fucking thing that he ever plagiarized that was available to you. The same way he picked it up and was like, I'm gonna kill him with this. We gotta come up out this spell, y'all. By any leader. I'm not trying to be your fucking leader. At all. I'm trying to get you to stand firm and detach from a corporate entity who has been robbing you and robbed all your ancestors. Even the ancestors that robbed some of their asses still got robbed. And many of them lost their lives. So there's no way in the fuck I'm going to rally for a pale-faced nobody unless it's a John Brown. Am I saying his name right? Yeah, it's the John Brown, the white guy who, you know, y'all know what I'm talking about. You know exactly who I'm talking about when I said what I had said. If they ain't doing that, you ain't got no business hugging their nuts. And you ain't got no business hugging their nuts, no way. But to be promoting and supporting, you ain't got no business supporting none of them motherfuckers. Especially when the vast majority of they supporters, again, if given the opportunity, would murk you and eat your fucking babies. Would shoot your sons and daughters in the back of the fucking head. Y'all embarrassing the fuck out of us. You make us all look like sellouts, traitors, because of the behavior. Your behavior displays that you a fucking traitor. Like I say, I go light-handed sometimes because I know the mentality. You thinking, you know, well, I was tired of the Democrats. You know, the liberal, the gay shit, and the feminists, and Margaret Sanger, and, you know, Susan B. Anthony, right? I'm on the side of Ida B. Wells, but at the same time, I'm still a woman, right? And I understand the fact that all of these entities have always been against me. You don't even want me to speak because you so fucking Islamic and you so Father God without a Mother God. And we killing that shit. And as I kill it, you know, you can say, what do they call that? New age. You on that? No, bitch, this ain't new age. This is ancient shit that predates all of that bullshit that you own. A great mother predates a goddamn Bible, a Quran, a Talmud, a Tanakh, a Torah, a Veda, by thousands of years. This is the mother plane. This is a plane where the female predates the male. But we've been knocked out of our socket. Once we pass that power and that throne over to our sons, these matriarchal societies, all you motherfuckers, especially the brother that, you know, wanted to argue with me about Dr. York earlier today, right? When this is clearly, you saying that you're indigenous, right? You have a indigenous people of these Americas will understand this is a matriarch. And I'm not harping on that. What I'm asking is for us to balance the shit out. To not be on some father guy shit without being on some mother guy shit. If we can't have it like that, we not gonna have it at all. If we don't get back to the essentials, our heirs and descendants will have nothing to fucking inherit because you don't want to stand up. Understand, sometimes standing up means standing alone until the ground gets shaky. Then everybody will be grabbing at your ankles trying to fucking pull themselves up. You've seen it happen before. Most people are fearful to even do what I do because of what happened to Malcolm and what happened to Martin. I done faced too much to be scared of anything. So that's it. Until the next time, when I come back, what we're going to talk about is this statement that these white people made about only poor people use face cloths. Keep that in mind. It's posted. I just didn't do it yet, and it's up and coming. I'm going to do it with y'all this weekend. And a lot of the points that I'm going to make, man, we the greatest to ever do it. I'll just put it that way. We the greatest to ever do it. They say great minds think alike, but I have yet, you know what I'm saying? I have yet to see or hear anybody say some of the stuff that I'm gonna put out here come Friday or Saturday. Tomorrow is Friday, ain't it? Is it? Yeah, tomorrow's Friday. So it depends on what all goes down Friday, but I think more than likely Saturn's Day will be a better day for me to do that live. Right. Yeah. So I'm up out this piece, y'all. Y'all stay up. You know what I'm saying? And vet that information. You know what I'm saying? Vet that information. I'll just be out here repeating some shit that you heard somebody else say. And, you know, pay homage to those that we should be paying homage to. And all others, fuck them.
YouTube, you fools try to limit me, muting and deleting channels, thinking that's the end of me. Y'all are not on my level, smaller than a centipede. This is my purpose, TBT is a ministry. I do not tire, my God gives me energy. Chose by Messiah, you believe, come get with me. Married to a black queen, we got the illest chemistry. Founded the black tube, and now we making history. Black tube, 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 what? Black tube, 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 what? TBT, 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 what? TBT, 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 what? The blacktube.com. I'm a giant killer, son of an omniscient God who's realer. If this be the thriller in Manila, I'm oddly in.
Supreme.
Shock. Etymology.
They say I'm dope, I said I'm smoke, fire, blowing air, carbon, earth, solid, water, wet. I'm steady beat, a sister soldier that dies effects. So gone with all that hoopla and rah-rah, unless you talking about Atun, Namuna, Amara, pineal glands, all seeing eyes. We call the third eye, we came to build, not pay your bill. Slang municipality, city seals like roadkill, descendants of ancient mound builders. Not supposed to need encyclopedias, genetically encoded with 720. We got amnesia, claiming we Christian cretins in love with Yahweh, Muhammad, and Jesus. But you was living inside of God when you was a fetus. But believers and never believers, non-believers, cause we don't be lying, shaking hands and taking oaths with demons.